Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, an upcoming Civil War game that is currently in early access and is slated to release from early access about a month from now on September 24th. This is our Union Let's Play series playing in this game, and we have invaded the Confederacy in July of 1861. And the war's going pretty well for us. Richmond has already fallen to the Union Army under General Richardson, Major General Richardson. It is the Pennsylvania detachment. It went down the valley. Its invasion route to get to Richmond was down the Shenandoah Valley and then east at Staunton and attacking Richmond from the flank. Meanwhile, the main Union Army has crossed the Rappahannock, just winning a victory near Fredericksburg, or I guess just pushing the Confederates back near Fredericksburg, and driving three separate Confederate armies back in some disarray, if you will. There are three Confederate armies, all numbering about 30,000 men total, but there are 3,000, 10,000, and 17,000 man detachments, so they are not defending very well against us. The Union Army is led by Major General Irvin McDowell, and he has about 28,000 men. Now, that's about 6,000 less than he had when he crossed the Rappahannock, and that's because I'm detaching 6,000 soldiers to join what was previously the Expeditionary Army, which had taken sort of some of the eastern seaboard regions, although those have reverted back to the Confederates, but instead are going to be forming up a force of about 8,000 men. We're going to call it the Army of the Valley. We also took one battery of artillery from the Union invading army moving south, and their job is going to be to move back into the Shenandoah Valley and essentially to protect our advance's flank. So the army in Richmond has about 13,000 men. The 30,000 men that are left under McDowell are going to pursue these Confederate forces south towards Charlottesville. And then the 8,000 men flank guard essentially are going to move toward Winchester and maybe the South Branch Bridge here in case the Army of the Northwest, which apparently has about 17,000 men. Actually, I think it's about 11,000 right now, but it will be up to 17,000 once those troops are recruited. And they'll protect against that flank attack from the Confederates there that might be coming out of West Virginia. And that's the situation in the sort of eastern theater of operations. Haven't really done much on the coast other than a temporary land invasion of sort of this peninsula here in eastern Virginia. But otherwise, not a lot else. We did defeat the Army of the Tennessee in Kentucky last turn, inflicting, or not last turn, but about, I think, last video, inflicting about 1,000 casualties on their 7,000 man force. They are apparently withdrawing to the northeast toward Ohio, so we are going to pursue them with the Army of the Ohio under Major General Don Carlos Buell. Parts of Kentucky are under Confederate control. And then we've also ejected the Confederates basically entirely out of Missouri, which we don't have the force or the logistical chain in position to try and push further south right now. Our troops are kind of starving actually there, but we've at least ejected them into Arkansas. So not a lot of advances into the Confederate heartland, but we did take Richmond in their capital, so that's kind of a thing. And yeah, that's the situation right now in mid-July of 1861. So we'll go ahead and speed things up a little bit. Looks like Hampton's division may withdraw toward Richmond. I am trying to clear the rail line to Richmond because we do have troops there, but these guys have no food. So there's that. Meanwhile, Hampton's division is withdrawing toward Richmond. They've lost over 5,000 casualties between a couple of battles that they've fought. But we're going to go ahead and have the Army of Northeastern Virginia advance toward Charlottesville. And we'll just hope that the Department of Pennsylvania can hold their own in Richmond. The depots around them are supposed to have supplies. I believe they're drawing it up the river. So it looks like they are getting some provisions back here, slowly but surely. And so Hampton's division is going to withdraw right into us, I guess. Meanwhile, the force that had been defending Richmond, some 20,000 militia, have withdrawn east toward Fort Monroe. And the Hampton's division just withdrew right through our lines. We do get pursuit casualties there, so they lost over 200 casualties in rear guard actions as they withdrew from Richmond. So you can see their casualties are up over 6,000 now. Those pursuit casualties can really add up once an army's sort of routed and disheveled, if you will. So meanwhile, these guys, it still says they're starving, but their provisions are at 22%. So Patterson's troops are slowly regaining some cohesion. The Army of the Potomac is apparently withdrawing into the valley, and the Army of the Shenandoah is following them. Meanwhile, the Coastal Expeditionary Army has been renamed the Army of the Valley, and we're going to move them into the valley to guard the flank, as we previously said. The Army of the Northwest, apparently its 17,000 men are advancing on Pittsburgh, I guess, or at least on Wheeling. And I don't know what I'm going to do there because I don't have the troops there to stop them if they do want to advance on Pittsburgh. Do we have a rail line here? Can we pull troops to go help McClellan? Why are they unhappy? I don't even know. But they do have good provisions. So let's go ahead and halt this force. Oops. Because I can't just let 11,000 troops, 14,000 troops advance on Pittsburgh. If that's where they're going, they may be just trying to retake Wheeling from us. All right. So let's go ahead and manage the army. We'll go to the transfer rules, and I guess we'll see what we can do to pull some troops out of... I hate to do this, but I'm going to pull one more battery of artillery, and then Richardson's brigade, Anderson's brigade. So that'll give us 4 brigades of infantry and 1 of artillery. With McClellan's troops, it's going to take him 7 days to get there. But it'll further shrink our army in Virginia under McDowell. But I think it's what we have to do. It'll bring our total strength up to about 7,000, just shy of 8,000 men. So we'd still be outnumbered 2-1 if we were to fight them. Remove these guys back to... I don't want to trigger a battle, so let's do Cambridge here on this rail line. Meanwhile, how's Kentucky going? Where's the Army of the Tennessee? Where did they go? We have no intel on where these where the Army of the Tennessee went. I mean, I'm guessing they didn't cross the river into Ohio because there's no indication there's any Confederate towns there. They could have gone east to Grayson, in eastern Kentucky, based on what's all currently in our control versus theirs. So we'll move down these rural roads in Kentucky. Hopefully we can draw a supply that way. Who is a supply alert? Department of Pennsylvania. Yeah, we knew that. Okay. Disrupt. Oh God, I thought Fort Amherstburg, this Canadian fort up here, was an enemy for a second. Man, I nearly had a heart attack. All right, the Army of the Department of the Ohio is still hanging out here, waiting for its reinforcements to arrive. All right, McClellan and McDowell are both at their destinations. All right, let's just mark that all as red. Okay, so McDowell is at his destination. Question is where the rest of these rebel armies went. I can't really advance past Richmond with the Department of the Pennsylvania right now with those militia troops on their flank. Meanwhile, we really need to build more depots to support the invasion here. We still have good provisions, though, 97%. What I don't get, and what I kind of wish the AI was better at, is merging armies. Like, we use the transfer tool pretty regularly, and I think it's a nice little tool. But like, why doesn't the AI use it? The AI should know, hey, this army's been battered. There's another army immediately adjacent for it. If you don't have another objective that you need both armies for, like, well, damn, just, you know, merge the two damn armies. But the AI doesn't seem to have great logic for that. Or we're building a depot here near Charlottesville. It's going to take 19 freaking days. We're also upgrading the Fredericksburg depot. That's going to take another, not sure, 39 days to upgrade the Fredericksburg depot. Constructing a depot at Richmond in 8 more days. We already have one depot there, which is also upgrading, and that'll be done in 39 days. Dear God, upgrade your depots faster, you fools. I can't really advance much further without better supply lines. I suppose, can I... Do we have army orders? What does raid do? Burn down enemy infrastructure and forge all supplies the troopers can carry. When raiding, troops in this unit will skirmish with all enemies within range. Raiding will hit the population hard, and this will have an effect in their support, lowering it for both the attacker and the defender if unable to counter the raiding parties. Okay, so we could forage provisions if we need them. But, all right. How many more days on the troops arriving to McClellan? Because I think we'll attack with his Department of the Ohio once they arrive. Oh, so most of their troops have arrived already. So all but Richardson's brigade, which is arriving in 4 more days, it says. Then we'll attack an enemy over twice our number. But I think we can do it. Oh, the Army of the Tennessee is in Ohio now? Where the hell are these guys going? Bastards. Use the damn railroads to get in front of them. This is this reminds me a little bit of Paradox's March of the Eagles, where you just had like whack-a-mole. You defeat the enemy and they retreat the wrong direction, and now you're just chasing the defeated enemy around areas they shouldn't have retreated to in the first place. All right, let's go again. Okay, low readiness, slow movement. Meanwhile, McDowell's hanging out at Charlottesville, which is on a rail line. CSA prepares for long war. Extend contracts to 3 years. New regiments are formed. Okay. Let's take a look here. How's our supply situation? 92%. Provisions are at 86. So we are slowly eating through our provisions. I would think because we're on a rail line would be able to draw some supplies forward, but maybe not. I don't want to just sit there and wither away either. What about our troops in Richmond? How are they doing? They've got their provisions up to 33%, so they're slowly gaining provisions. I'm kind of tempted to move in on these guys. These troops here, the South Carolina State Militia, look like they've pulled back to Yorktown. How many troops do they have here again? 25,000 troops. The Department of Pennsylvania only has 13,000. We got kind of lucky in our victory at Richmond, too. But we could pull some troops from northeastern Virginia, since those guys aren't really doing anything over there. They're probably just going to sit there and guard the flank for a little bit, so let's do that. So the 3rd Division has an extra brigade, so we'll give them to Caldwell. Meanwhile, we have 2 batteries of artillery. 2nd Battery and Patterson's artillery, as well as 1 of cavalry. Cochrane's brigade is an additional 2,000, so that'll bring us up to 16,000 men, roughly. I don't want to move more troops than that, so we'll just take the 1 brigade of infantry. How long are they going to take to arrive? Oh, did I not? Did I not tell them to go? Oh, no, I did. 2 days. So they're pretty close. So they're within supporting distance. So once they arrive, we'll move the Army of Pennsylvania east to try and go after the... Did they arrive already? These estimates, by the way, are way off. 2 days. Well, really more like 20 minutes. All right, let's go after the South Carolina State Militia. I'm assuming the Skull and Crossbones means that they are retreating. I think Richmond's safe. I suppose they could sneak in and try and take it back. But I don't have any indication of enemy troops in that direction. Meanwhile, the Valley Army... Go stick near this railroad bridge. And then the Army of the Ohio. We're just waiting for your extra troops to arrive. Tennessee troops taking your trains. Okay. All right. Get going, boys. Get your marching shoes on and start moving. The Department of Pennsylvania is marching east toward Yorktown, that illustrious city in the history of the United States of America, where the British Army surrendered to the American War of Independence. Patterson, the war hero that he is. Meanwhile, Buell is at his destination. So it looks like he's gotten out ahead of... Well, that was 3 days ago, though. The last report of the Army of the Tennessee. The only question is, where are they going? They could be sitting there. We can try and cross. Okay, so Patterson has arrived to face PGT Beauregard. 26,000 South Carolina State Militia versus 13,000. Why are these units with low morale? They may break immediately during battle. Well, fuck. We're going to fight anyway, boys. The Battle of Yorktown. Confederacy has about 26,000 men under PGT Beauregard, 13,000 men under the Union. I guess some of those troops probably broke in a recent battle, probably for Richmond, because our troops really kind of got shattered a little bit. Let's see how this is going to go. We should be on the offensive, I would think. Yep, attack the enemy. Okay. Maybe I can just bombard them with artillery, huh? So if we take a look here, Union 74 out of 100 men. I don't know what that means. Condition 74 versus 100. 96, 96. I'm guessing the condition is reflecting morale. Fighting spirit 73. So which units here have low morale? Doesn't tell me any of that. Most of these guys have already fought. Some of them don't have the best morale. I should really do a better job of assigning like the best commanders. I'm pretty laissez-faire with that. All right, so what are we going to do? I think, I don't know where the enemy is. I guess that's one of the problems is I'd rather like I get the cool wide open spaces can be cool, but also kind of a little annoying. So we have some cavalry here, I think. Let's go ahead and just start the battle. Okay, so the battle is started. I do have some cavalry, right? Yeah, so the first cav is unstable. They took a lot of casualties in our previous engagements. The good news is, guys, I'm not asking you to, like, die. I just want you to help me scout. So let's move you guys actually. I'm assuming the enemy's probably down on the southern part of the map, down near New Cold Harbor, just because of where their spawn point is. So actually, to that effect, let's just move the cavalry up here on the flank. And we're just going to move the infantry slowly. We'll just try and find where the enemy might be. So 3rd Brigade also looks shook up. Windcrop's Brigade apparently shook up, despite the fact that they've never actually fought. 2nd Division under Keem. I think we're just going to move toward the Gaines house here with that division. And then the 1st Division, which seems to be much more confident and has the bulk of our troops, about 7,000 men, is going to move toward the heights overlooking the Gaines house. And then let's get going. It's about 12 o'clock in the day. On our opening turn, we'll order Patterson to move as well. Actually, I'm thinking my cavalry may not follow the initial order because I ordered them to be part of that division. That's fine. I think if the enemy spawn points are here and here, well, I guess they could be up along the old church road. Oh, shit. We found them. Shit. Cavalry, you're just riding right into the enemy. Can you retreat? Or just halt? Now, some of these rebel brigades probably are a little bit shook up too, because they did lose. All right, I'm going to order them to retreat before they can take too many casualties. And we found the enemy at least. So it looks like they're holding Lee's Bridge down here. And they've got some good terrain. They're on some hills. So we'll form the 1st Division up here, mostly in the open. And then the 2nd Division, which is a little bit more shook up, we'll form up on this. No, you guys should really halt. Don't. All right. You guys are going to move not quite there. I guess there. Okay, so we can see the rebels are bringing some troops up here. It looks like they're moving some troops north, maybe to the spot where the 2nd Brigade will be. 1st Brigade is the 1st Cavalry Brigade's already broken. They took 20 casualties and they're broken. You can't be kidding. Like, how about you rally your damn troops? Also, we should detach these guys because the intent is not to. Rally and detach. I don't want the cavalry to move. So don't do that. All right, so the enemy is forming up. They have considerably more men than we do. I don't want the cavalry over there. Aren't these guys detached yet? I don't know why they're cut off. They shouldn't be. Where's our artillery, by the way? My gun's not attached to any unit here. This creek, by the way, looks like a great position to enfilade the enemy position. Our troops are coming up. Where are you going, Patterson? Don't get yourself killed, please. I'm assuming commanders can be killed? Not sure I've actually seen it a whole lot, but I'm gonna assume they can. All right, are these guys getting any better? Can't really tell. All right, 3rd Brigade, just form up here. We're going to command these 2 individual brigades ourselves. They're unstable. They probably won't hold very well. I want to get my artillery up here. We'll see if they advance on me and push with their advantage in numbers. Their status is routed. I want them to engage at long range for both of these units, seeing as their morale is not great. I'd rather they engage at maximum range. Negley's brigade is in good shape. They're the only ones that are. Okay, so we're engaging enemy skirmishers here. The Battle of Yorktown is underway. The first shots are fired. Oh, I'm speaking like that. Any artillery firing yet? I see their batteries. Get the guns up, boys. Alright, we're taking a few casualties. Not really inflicting many. They've got quite a few skirmishers in the unit. 200 men. Can we change these guys to skirmishers? I'd like you to break your formation up a little bit, so you're not in a pure line. They're still in line, aren't they? I mean, I have the order for skirmishers. Maybe they're in skirmish formation now. They just moved. to 29, so a little bit of skirmishing going on, I guess, here. We're not losing horrendous casualties. We are burning through some ammo. It's probably the most extended of any engagement I've seen so far. Looks like they might try and move up on my flank. These guys are panicked. They're no longer broken. Units started broken at 30%. Interesting. Meanwhile, my artillery's coming up. They are going to try and maybe move some troops up on my flank. So we're going to move Williams' brigade down here to refuse our own position. Shit. Did I order them to fall back? I just wanted them to move there. And we're going to move our artillery up here. And here to guard that flank. Our one reserve brigade is Williams' brigade. They're going to extend our position. And it looks like we drove those skirmishers off. Current morale, 30%, 30%, 72%. All right. I want you guys to Go engage Early's battalion, I think. So they fired a good number, almost 10 rounds. So we're going to move these 2 brigades up. Go to long range. You guys, I don't really want you to, like, eat canister fire. Neagley's brigade is in contact with this enemy artillery battery and taking some losses. Oh god, Clayton's brigade. There's 6,000 troops on Neagley's front. Early's battalion quickly withdrew. And in disorder. A few casualties inflicted there. Wincrop's in contact. They're gonna throw some skirmishers back out against me. I don't know who Neagley's losing casualties against. I guess maybe these skirmishers on his flank. But we've got 2 brigades firing into these skirmishers, so they should not last long, and they don't. They break. I'm gonna withdraw Neagley a little bit to refuse our flank if it looks like Clayton's brigade might be moving on our flank there. Kelm is demoralized? Why? Your troops are doing well, Kelm. Your troops are fighting well. You drove back a battery of artillery? You threw back 2 lines of enemy skirmishers? Like what? What gives, sir? Oh, nice. They're chewing up Burbridge's brigade a little bit. Since I set them all to long-range fire and they all have Springfield rifles or rifled muskets, I think they outrange this South Carolina State Militia unit, and they're inflicting some losses on them. Meanwhile, the enemy has sort of taken position along this creek line near the Lee's Bridge, but they have stopped advancing on me. My own artillery is in position here. Looks like we're taking a few casualties from enemy artillery fire. But we've got 2 batteries of artillery, both firing on the enemy. And their wood line over here. Morale was 30% before. It's still 30% for both these brigades. Meanwhile, Neagley's at 61%. How about you fire on Clayton? Use the long-range advantage, I think. I'm assuming Clayton doesn't have rifles, but that might be a dangerous assumption. So you've got about 6,000 men to your front. The enemy should just rush us, really. But again, they're militia, so oh, they do have the range. Wingo's brigade does have the range. That's probably not good. Ooh, we're losing men. There goes our flank. How's the cavalry doing? Their morale's up to 22%. Let's pull the 3rd Brigade of Thomas Stockton over here to support our flank in the event that they try and turn us. Well, we'll just let our artillery continue to pound the enemy. We're actually going to use a fair amount of ammunition in this fight, I think. Alright. Pull back. $200 casualties. God, we're getting butchered. Neagley's brigade's falling back. They don't have the best loss resilience. They've already lost 260 men and they're pulling back. They should be out of range soon. But those militia troops definitely have a fair armament there. They've thrown some skirmishers out in front. What's his morale? 65%. It went up when they engaged the enemy, huh? Meanwhile, Windcrop and Hooker both engaging. Is this just at really long range, I guess? They're not doing a lot of damage. He's lost about 300 men. But they're just sort of picking away at him. Windcrop's gonna burn through all his ammo at this rate, but... And our artillery is just gonna keep shooting. We're gonna drive up the price of guns. Alright. Alright, I don't really want to attack this enemy formation head on. The detachment there lost over 30 men in that brief skirmish. We're going to extend Stockton's flank onto the flank of Neagley, and that'll give us another 1,000 men here on this flank, bring us up to about 3,000 while the enemy has about 6,000 there. And I'm just going to let Wingcrop continue to blaze away. What's the maximum you guys can get your morale up to? Is it 30% because you started broken? But as long as the enemy wants to hold here on this little knot of trees, which is a good defensive position, like, give the AI credit for taking up this defensive position. I think I would probably have moved them across the creek here rather than just have skirmisher detachments. Although, I don't know. Maybe that is the right decision. I'm not sure. They've got some artillery down there as well. Not doing much damage to our troops. I'm not really doing much to the enemy either. But we're turning money into fun. As my friends who like to shoot like to say. I'm curious where these guys are going to go. So Wingo's brigade's lost 3 men. Clayton's brigade has lost 133. I don't know if that includes the 30 men in the detachment lost. But if they're going to reposition, I'm happy. Although these guys are in a wood line, which... Switch these guys to long range fire. We've lost about 400 men so far this battle. This long, drawn-out battle. It's 1,500 hours. I'm content to hold this position until nightfall. I'm hoping that the troops of ours that have been fighting will get more morale at the end of the night. And maybe we can dispatch some more ammo to Winecoop, who now apparently is low on ammo. And Burbridge's brigade, meanwhile, has lost another 200 men. They're up to 500 casualties. Actually, doesn't look like Hooker's brigade is engaging at all. Alright, so these guys are pulling back. So to that extent, let's advance. Maybe we can get these troops into the wood and give them some cover. Cheatham's brigade's moving north. They were beat up in the previous fight, though. Oh, I forgot. The orders are going to get to Neagley much faster than Stockton, because Stockton's orders have to come from his division commander, which is all the way over here. The heavy combat has consumed over half the ammunition carried by the men in my brigade. Morale is unstable with no casualties. The enemy I face appears to be 2,000 strong. Robert Patterson. From who? Who's it from? Okay. I'm guessing it's from Winecop. Let's actually see if we can flank Burnbridge. We'll use the 3rd Brigade under Stockton to guard his flank. And then see if we can add a little bit of pressure to Burbridge's command, who's now up to 700 casualties. We can rout one of the enemy brigades. Maybe we can lower the morale of the whole army. So we've got Neagley coming forward here. Oh, fuck. Is he getting flanked? Is he being fired on by Clayton? Or is that... I can't tell who's firing. No, it appears to be the 3rd Brigade under Stockton that's getting shot up a bit. Why aren't they engaging a longer range, though? Is that really the maximum range of their Springfield musket? It's not a... It's just a... It must be like an 1842, then. Smoothbore? Buck and ball? Ah, so it's gotta be like the 1842... Oh, man. I assumed it was a Springfield rifle. Not a buck and ball gun. Well, they're going to get shot to pieces. In any event, we did drive the enemy in front of us back. Burbridge's troops. So we're going to keep advancing here. Neagley also. Meanwhile, the 3rd Brigade probably won't last long under this hail of fire. We've lost about 300 men. I think the buck and ball does a pretty good work on the enemy. They seem to be doing pretty hefty damage to Clayton's brigade. But there they go. We'll bring Neagley over, though. They weakened him a little bit, I think. Meanwhile, Y-Cup is advancing here. It looks like Burbridge is broken, over 800 casualties on his end. Oh, that's a lot of artillery fire hitting Neagley, though. Okay. It's now 4 o'clock. Let's advance. What are you doing? What formation are you in? It should be line. What the fuck is that? Rifled musket. So Bragg's brigade's also falling back. They're not outflanked. Outflanked by who? Maybe the artillery? Are they advancing with their back to the enemy? Why are they backing into them? Just shoot the bastards. They're in range. That was weird. Buckner's brigade. All right, boys, advance on the enemy. Now that it's closing in on nightfall, I'm going to use... Are these guys set to fire at long range? No, they're set to fire at medium, so switch that. All those men should be using the advantage of their weapons here. And the enemy is pulling back, at least some of them. Why are you still advancing? You should... Why don't you halt? Use the damn trees that you're in. Ooh, Neagley's getting shredded. Alright, Bragg's brigade's morale is low. There we go. We just routed that enemy artillery. Alright, so Neagley's brigade is broken. They lost over 700 men. That means there's like 9,000 men on my flank who could pose a real problem. But we are, I think, doing good work on the enemy flank. Battle is far from... This is the longest, like, campaign battle that I've played so far. How are these guys doing? They're still at 27%. 2nd Division is not doing so hot. Although they got 2 brigades in action. Y-Cup might be the hero of the frickin' battle. Although he's almost out of ammo now. We'll see if they use these brigades to turn our flank. They certainly could. Hooker's brigade's moving forward here. Yep, these guys are advancing. Clayton's brigade is advancing my flank. We'll bring our cavalry up to try and slow them down. What's your morale up to, boys? 27%? It's gonna have to do. Well, Hooker didn't last long. And these troops in the woods. We've got them on the flank between Thomas and Williams' brigade. Although Gratiot could also hit us pretty hard there. We may have to withdraw from this battle. Not that I want to do it. All right, cavalry, I want you to charge these goddamn enemy artillery pieces here. Chew these batteries up. Lift your damn sabers and go in. Napoleonic style. I spent all day rallying the guys, and they're gonna just throw it away in one heartbeat, right? Charge! Forwards, men! I did order them to charge, but I guess they're not going to. They're just gonna plow away with their musketry. And they're gonna die. Well, at least they didn't take very many casualties. Defeat! The battle is lost. The morale of your troops is cracked. I think that's the first time I've ever lost a battle. All right, well, we'll try and hold our position here for the next 21 minutes. We're just going to withdraw back to Richmond, but it'll be interesting to see if the enemy tries to retake Richmond now, because my army won't. I think there's going to be like a cooldown where they can't fire or can't really fight very well for a little while. And then we may also get sort of a pursuit phase working against us. Griffith's brigade's taken a fair amount of punishment there from these two brigades, Thomas's and, man, if I just let Thomas and Williams do their thing, really working on this brigade. Wyckoff, I want to know how many casualties they've inflicted. They've only lost 80 men, just sitting at range and pounding away with their rifled muskets. Bragg's brigade. I mean, a lot of these rebel brigades don't have the best morale, but enough of them do, I guess. Well, this will give me an excuse to maybe sack Patterson as the commander of the army and put someone more competent in control. Because, I mean, I guess he did take Richmond. Maybe we shouldn't be sacking the hero of Richmond, but... Yeah, let's fast forward a little bit. I'm not going to withdraw, so, like, I know the game's saying your army's broken, but I'm just going to keep fighting. We broke that enemy artillery battery. Early's battery is routed. So we're engaging Buckner at beyond the range he can engage at. Griffith's going to keep taking casualties here. I think despite the fact that we're going to lose, quote unquote, the enemy might have lost more men than we did. So all of our troops have withdrawn from the battlefield. The troops are retreating orderly despite the fact that it's considered a defeat. And yeah, the enemy lost twice our casualties. 2,300 infantry, 30 of their 50 guns. We did lose 826 cavalry, but I don't think we did. I think that... Wait. Did that entire cavalry regiment rout then? Okay, then that makes things a little worse. All right. A minor federal defeat. It's only our second defeat and the first that I actually fought where we lost. I think we did an auto battle on like a coastal fort that counted as a defeat. Hopefully the Rebs don't pursue us now. Our first defeat in the age of real-time combat in Grand Tactician, the Civil War. Colonel Burnside loses face. Really? I don't even remember Burnside's being involved. Alright, so the enemy has reportedly suffered 2,483 men lost, 371 killed. Our casualties, 2,100, 237 killed, 996 missing. I'm guessing those are the cavalry. Alright, so you don't need to withdraw quite that far. Maybe I don't have a choice. Alright, well, we'll see if they try and pursue toward Richmond. Does it change the European intervention? Doesn't look like it. So troops are withdrawing. South Carolina militia don't appear to be pursuing. Patterson is infamous because he lost, I'm guessing. So who do we replace Major General Robert Patterson with? Winfield Scott's the commander of everything. I don't like any of these guys. They all, like, where are the... Let's just give it to Grant, right? He's a rising star. Well, actually, let's think about this for a second. Cadwallader is a division commander in this force. His troops did pretty well, I think. Kilm, his troops, apparently he's legendary. He's cautious, liked, mediocre administrator. He doesn't seem like a good choice. Captain Doubleday, rising star. Like, Burnsides isn't here. Why is this hurting his... That had to be a bug, right? Maybe we'll replace Keem as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm curious what you guys think. What would you like me to do from a command perspective? But I think that's going to do it for today. So we witnessed our first defeat in Grand Tactician: The Civil War. And I don't think it matters much, but we did the enemy some punishment as well. And the Army of Northeastern Virginia just kind of hanging out there, trying to get ready. Their provisions aren't great, but we can start foraging, I guess. And we're also still working on those depots to try and help them out. So we'll see. Meanwhile, our policy situation, no real change in this turn, although I think we went like 12 days or something like that. So we're working towards some of those breadbasket policies and the other policy. We're working on breadbasket, I think industrialization. Hopefully that helps the economy, which is massively in debt, negative 164 million. Surprisingly enough, we used about 30% of our rifle ammo in that battle, so we still have a fair amount. Low ammunition? That doesn't seem to be true. Maybe for some of the units, it's just saying. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts below, as always. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.